Welcome to the Empowered Spirit Show. This is your host, Terri Ann Heiman. I'll explore the connection to the human spirit in a way that helps to navigate your life, including crisis. I am passionate about helping you to open up to your intuition and the metaphysical world of spirit to find your confidence in your own inner guidance. Take a pause, be inspired, learn ways to show up focused, centered, and more dynamic in your everyday life.
Welcome back to the Empowered Spirit Show. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. This episode is being sponsored by Ritual and Shelter. Are you looking for a magical place to shop and hold space? Check out Ritual and Shelter online or in Homewood, Alabama. Browse through their bookshelves covering topics such as energy healing, crystal healing, reiki, chakras, auras, the Akashic Records, shadow work, astrology, and earth-based healing. You can also find herbal teas and tinctures alongside their crystals and oils to help establish a mindful mindset and fluid ambience before meditation, ritual work, and reflection. Ritual and Shelter is dedicated to providing one-on-one, in-depth conversations with customers to help them find the most efficient healing methods and resources that match their unique interest and energy. They offer tarot sessions, Reiki, sound bowl, and crystal healing, and now they are offering witch consultations. Visit ritualshelter.com to book an appointment and bring peace back to the body, mind, and spirit. You can also find them on Instagram at Ritual Shelter Shop, as well as Pinterest at Ritual Plus Shelter. So as this podcast goes to air, we are journeying through this potent time of cosmic energy. We find ourselves at a powerful nexus of awakening. The 12-12 portal yesterday opened up, opening us all up to this master energy of 12, coinciding with multiple planetary aspects, inviting you to shoot for the stars. As you look into the future, envisioning the potential and opportunities that 2026 brings, you're embracing the art of taking bold risk with confidence. Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusions, also ended its retrograde backspin this month, inviting you to look at your current path from a new perspective. Your dreams are evolving as you do too. Pause and consider everything you've achieved. Have faith in your abilities and define your goals for what lies ahead, confident that the universe supports you. This upcoming new moon in Sagittarius infuses us with its fiery, forward-projecting energy, urging us to explore the vastness of our consciousness. This celestial event connects us to the galactic center, amplifying our intentions and spiritual growth. Be sure to set your intentions under this new moon energy for your future self. We are also approaching the winter solstice, the return of the light that marks the beginning of winter, a time for deep reflection and inner illumination. And with that three-eye atlas making its closest approach to Earth, we're reminded of the ever-present celestial dance that influences our lives. New light codes coming in for sure. This is a time of profound awakening, a cosmic invitation to let go of what no longer serves you and to start fresh. It's the perfect moment to release old patterns, clear energetic debris, and step into the clarity of your soul's true purpose. This is deep soul work, and it requires courage and commitment. That's why I've created the past, present, future Akashic timeline healing method for this very moment. It's a map to help you clear the clutter from your canvas so you can paint the masterpiece your soul came here to create. If you're ready to embrace this deep, transformative energy and do the deep work, I invite you to register now. If you're not sure if this program is for you, learning to go into your Akashic Records, read your timelines, and heal those aspects that keep repeating the patterns, schedule a spiritual upgrade breakthrough call with me, and let's talk about what this program is and how it can help you move into the future feeling empowered and strong. I'll be sure to put the link in the show notes to schedule a call, as well as for the online class beginning in January. Join now and be invited to the masterclass for guides, angels, your galactic guides, and how you can choose your soul team. So in today's episode, who better to guide us through this transformative period and explore the realms of spirit than the incredible Tina Zion. Tina Zion is a fourth-generation intuitive, medium, and internationally recognized as an expert in healing, medical intuition, and mediumship. Personally, I have had Tina's books in my library for years. I recommend them to my students, and they have helped me in teaching my Reiki classes. She's been on the Reiki Raise Healing Summits with such great interviews, so I am more than honored to have Tina with us and to delve into these energies as well as explore her latest book in the realms of spirit and learn how we all can become more attuned to the subtle energies that surround us. Get ready to expand your consciousness and embrace the healing powers of the universe. Before we begin, let's take a moment to pause and center and set an intention for all this cosmic energy coming in, the new moon, the end of the fall, and opening up to the winter. So wherever you are, if you can, for a few moments, close your eyes. Taking a nice deep inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, breathe all the way down, calling all your energy into you, centering. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, calling in absolute light streams of grace to wash right through your energy field, helping you to ground. Taking another deep inhale and exhale, dropping right into the heart, right into the deepest part of your heart. Feel that connection, your spirit and the greater spirit. Know that you are loved, guided, protected. Feeling all this energy coming in around us as we go to set this space, taking a moment to honor this beautiful season we are in. Where I am, the season of fall is found in the direction of the west. Where the sun sets, we notice those struggles. We see the release, the letting go, and the cycles of life. We offer that thanksgiving for the fall season. As we begin to prepare to step into this new season of winter in the direction of the north, we call in all of the directions. To the west and the north, the east and the south, above us, below us, right into the very center of our hearts. Feeling that connection, your spirit and the greater spirit. Know that you are loved, guided, protected. Feeling all this energy coming in around us. Taking a moment to set an intention for your path, your light. Feel that future energy opening up into this new season, to this new year. See and hear and feel and know these intentions. And just allow them to radiate out as you exhale them right through your aura, setting that energy for you. Calling in Creator, the Reiki masters and teachers all around us to help us magnify this energy out into the world. One more deep inhale. And exhale, bringing all that awareness right back into the heart. Feel it opening. Feel that third eye illuminating your path. And as you're ready, blinking the eyes back open, coming back. So my guest this week is Tina Zion, a fourth-generation intuitive medium and internationally considered an expert in healing, medical intuition, and mediumship. She is a first-place award-winning author and instructor. Tina teaches 4 courses: Becoming a Medical Intuitive Practitioner, Advanced Medical Intuition for Healing Others, and Become a Medium Who Has Helped the Deceased. She has taught courses in the United Kingdom, Europe, and New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Mexico, and throughout the U.S. She is also a faculty member for multiple spiritual centers in the U.S. Tina has held a national board specialty certification in mental health nursing and is a Gestalt-trained mental health counselor, graduating from the Gestalt Institute. She holds a BA in Communication and Management. Tina received her certification in clinical hypnotherapy and specialized in past life regressions. She was also certified through the Michael Newton Institute for Life Between Life Regressions. Tina received the Reiki Master Teacher level and has taught Reiki for over 10 years. All of Tina's medical intuition books both won first place gold awards or silver awards and are selling all over the 50 countries. She is the author of Become a Medical Intuitive, Advanced Medical Intuition, Be Your Own Medical Intuitive, The Reiki Teacher's Manual, and Reiki and Your Intuition. Her newest book, which she is here to talk about today, Healing Ghosts, Haunted Places, and Non-Human Beings, is a training manual to be an extraordinary medium who heals the troubled deceased. Tina now focuses on teaching medical intuition and mediumship all around the globe. So let us welcome Tina to the show. Welcome, Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you. As we were talking before I even hit record, how excited I am to have you. Your work I've followed. You've been very instrumental in how I teach my clients using all your books, not just the one we're here to talk about today, but all of them. So I am so grateful for you and the work that you're putting out into the world. Thank you so much.
Well, and thank you for saying that. Thank you, because I'm wondering with this latest book, how everyone feels about it. So thank you for this. Thank you.
Well, your latest book, Healing Ghosts, Haunted Places, and Non-Human Beings. It's a training manual, and I think it is so needed right now. It really is. Yeah.
I do too.
We're
I do
opening up
too.
into all this galactic energy, and you really bring it forward that we all exist. The non-physical, the physical, we're all right here, right now. And I think that's part of how we're opening up and expanding consciousness.
Absolutely. And I love to talk about this is my favorite, and I have various things in my background, but it all led up to this awareness that you're talking about already. And I really want to expand that for everyone all around the world, because people are struggling in all kinds of ways about this, actually.
I agree. And death wasn't always talked about. There was very little information out there. It was hushed. As I mentioned, I do this beautiful service of helping prepare women, and it was always a sacred, and you didn't talk about it, yet we knew we were honoring them. It's kind of like a mitzvah, something that can't be repaid, but yet it was always very quiet. But now, as times progress, we're starting to talk more and more about death, about dying, about the process.
Yes. And my primary hope, my primary goal, I guess, also would be to take the scare out of it, to take the fear out of it for other people, for
Yeah.
everyone.
I agree. I mean, even just teaching intuition, some people are like, no, I don't want to trust it. I'm afraid of what I'll hear. I'm afraid I'll see dead people, which you do talk about in the book several times, mentioning that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I hear that a lot. In fact, people will come to my mediumship courses and they'll come up to me and they'll say, well, I want to be a medium, but I don't ever want to see any spirits. Well, that's kind of not where we're going here, but bless your heart. And so even the people who want to do this for a living or assist people in this way, even they're worried about what might happen as they open up. So that's very much part of that process too. They want to open up, but there's a worry.
Yeah. I remember my very first mediumship circle. I was invited to attend. First of all, when I got there, someone knew my father, which was very strange because I didn't know her. And of all people, they knew my father.
Mhm.
But then when we started the whole meditation, it was like we heard footsteps, footsteps, footsteps. It just so happened the husband of the host came in at the same time. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I really am going to see dead people. But it's not really like that, right? It's more
But no, not
vibration.
usually.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I mean, it's operations. It's more vibration. It's more color. You use a lot of color when we talk about this as well. And I think that's important for people to recognize.
Well, there's more to color than just color, because every color, every tone, or what do I want to say, brightness into darkness of every shade of color is information. So color is a vibration of information. And people don't really realize that. They talk about the colors in the aura and things like that. And people are thrilled when they actually perceive it for the first time and the second time and third time. But what I want to take it to even a deeper level, you're perceiving a level of information. You're perceiving even more detail. It's vibrating in that particular color.
It is. And I think that's the important aspect too, is like the vibration. I know for me, I came into most of this work, even though I know I was intuitive all my life, but I came into the most of this
Mhm.
work through Reiki. That was my first
Yeah.
training, my first certification, and then so much more opened up, not even knowing. And even the idea of an empath, and even with Reiki, and you talk about this in the book, how we still have to protect our energy and we need to have that source of universe when we do this work. So
Oh,
important.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I can let me comment on what you just said about Reiki. People are often also afraid that as they begin Reiki, they start noticing so many things. And that's how I began my medical intuitive practice. Is I was doing Reiki, and suddenly I was looking inside of the person's body, and I was very accurate when I shared the information. Reiki opens up not just that doorway of intuitive visions or awareness, it opens up the doorways in all aspects of life. And people start into Reiki and they don't realize why all these beautiful changes, not just dramatic, terrible changes, never, always opening up to those beautiful changes in their life. And I think no one speaks about that either. Well, about, be aware this is going to change your life in very positive ways.
I so agree. I so agree. And I think Reiki is so
Mhm.
much more. Sometimes people think, well, why should I take Reiki? I'm not going to be a practitioner, but that it's just so much more than that. It really is. And I have to say, I don't remember which Reiki Race summit it was, but I was listening to your interview and I really had to stop. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I agree with her. And I don't know. But then the more I thought about it, and it was about teaching intuition with that first class of Reiki. I'm thinking, well, but then people are like, well, I don't have intuition. I shouldn't learn Reiki. And it really made me think about it. And I had several discussions. What do you think? And now I think it is really important. And I agree with you that we need to mention exactly what you just said. It will open us up.
Yes.
And there may be further training that needs to occur.
Because if we bring this up in the beginning of a Reiki, their Reiki process or our Reiki training for people, if we bring it up in the first place, it interweaves into each other. But it also, I can't tell you how many people have suddenly become aware of all these things, and it's terrified them, and they said, "I'll never do Reiki again." So my hope and one of my goals is to prepare people for these changes. And yeah, so I think that makes a big difference because then they'll say, "Oh, my teacher did mention this." Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
always finding ways to help people not be afraid of themselves, afraid of the spirit world. I'm always looking for ways for that.
I think that's important. And I think that as we open up and work, whether it's with deceased or even for me recently, I've been doing a lot of work in the galactic fields. And I know that there was a situation where I opened up a big, huge portal in my house. And I
Mhm.
didn't quite know what to do, but I went to the teacher, and so he gave me some protocols to help. Okay, let's just kind of contain that portal so that I didn't have the fear, because I don't want the fear. I want the information. I want the wisdom. I want to feel that presence. Yeah, that expansion. So I think we can do that in a lot of what you're talking about in the book on chords and how to work with the energy and the entities and all the different guides and stuff. I think that's how we do it. We find those teams. In fact, you talk about so many things, right? I can go for each chapter. There's so many great
Yeah,
things
that's
in
good.
here, right? I mean,
Uh-huh.
like first you talk about opening up to those ways of communicating. We can open up astral, telepathy, clairvoyance. So we start to open up and train those gifts and trust, which is very important.
Well, people generally go into fear first, but what I hope to get across to people is no, slow down and notice whatever you're noticing and be aware and trust what you're getting. And I always say this, and I think it's in this last book, is always take and trust the pop of information. So when the information pops in, it will always be the clearest information. And then the few seconds after that will be our thinking mind trying to sort it out. So always take the pop. And that's kind of what I've known for. I have a bumper sticker about it.
I
Take the
love that.
pop.
Trust the pop. I love that. Yeah, I sometimes call it
Thank you.
animation. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
think one
Yeah,
of my
sure,
earlier
sure.
teachers, Carolyn May, she used to call it the animation. When it
Uh-huh.
feels that animation, when we feel it. I love that. Trust the pop. Because
Yes.
it is
Take
true. It's like when
pop.
we said in that kanji 3, it's like that first information that comes in. And the tendency is to either
Absolutely.
like, no, I don't want to hear that. No, not that. And we push it away or we doubt it.
Yes, or we say, oh, that can't be right, but it is right. If it pops,
Yeah.
it's the intuitive level of a topic, the intuitive level of a situation going on. Always take the pop because that's not your thinking mind. That's the key to this is because people say, oh, I just made that up. I just imagined it. I got in the way, blah, blah. No, if it instantly popped in kind of like out of nowhere, that is always that will be the clearest level and piece of information always. And then a second, 2, 3 seconds after that, it's our thinking mind will start kicking in, and that won't be as important because we're trying to, oh, does that make sense? Is we're trying to figure it out. And no, always just take the pop, no matter how weird it is, because it will get weird sometimes.
I agree. And sometimes it won't make sense. And then you want to try to make sense of it. And no, it's like follow what that energy is and look for those other clues. Yeah. Now
Yes.
you spend a whole chapter talking about developing your own spiritual team, which I think is really important. I remember hearing you talk at the Reiki Rays about your spiritual team as well.
It's important. And what I mean by spiritual team is there are just like, oh, there are different levels of knowledge of physicians in the earth plane world here. There's different levels and awarenesses of school teachers, just all kinds of things. Well, it's the same as on earth, it's also the same in the spirit realm that not every non-physical being is a guide. And what I keep finding, because I teach all over the world, what I keep finding all over the world is, oh, well, if a spirit person shows up, that must be my guide. Well, no, it's possibly just a deceased person. So I really am careful about how to teach people to be more aware and be more commanding about the level of guide that you're working with and really have that knowledge about it too. Make all the difference in the world.
I so agree. And you give us the steps, you give us the hows, you give us the questions to be really direct. I think that's really important. I often
Yes,
talk about my
well,
mom. I was with
yes,
her end of life. I
sure.
help. And now I always call her like my time angel. So she's not really a guide, but she
Oh,
wakes me up when I'm like running late. Like get to it, especially like anything around the cemetery or any of the things I kind of helped her with too. But it was like she's my time angel. So there is a difference, but we can create that spiritual team for us. And with the questions and the way that you offer it in the book, the manual part of this book, it really is very helpful. I had to sit there and think, I think I need to clean up a little bit of that for myself right now. So I found it very
oh,
helpful.
yes, yes, yes. Well, I have my grandmother Marie, and I always point to her over here on my right. My grandma Marie was just a precious, cherished person in my life. And she is with me, but and comes and goes, but she's with me so often. But she's still a deceased person. And she is not at that divine and sacred level of being the clearest, most precious guide for my team, because we were talking about a team. And I would never consider asking my grandmother any information about a client that I'm working with. Never. Because she is my grandma. And if I always say this, and I don't want to shock everybody, but if I fall over dead tonight, I'm going to be at that very sacred, divine, and sacred level of awareness. And I'm pretty darn aware, I guess. Everybody keeps telling me that. But what I'm talking about is working with a very divine, sacred, very advanced level of spirit guides for my team. And they all have their specialties too. And so the more you work with them, the more you call in a specialist for this or for that, your team just gets bigger and bigger and they never leave you.
Yeah, I agree. And you talk about the first thing you talk about is like participate in it, right? It's like call them in, participate, have that connection with them rather than just, oh, where are they going to show up, right? Like participate. I love that. You call them the specialty guides, which I think is really great to have that team. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and they are specialists. They have a specialty for whatever, and I don't, can't. I've never asked them why they have a specialty, but they all tend to have be a specialty in this, a specialist in that. So, I have a specialist in medical intuitive and being shown the exact cause of a person's physical or life struggles. So, I have a couple of those actually, specialists just for that. I have a specialist for healing, specialist for healing this and healing that. So the more you work with these divine and sacred specialists, the larger your team gets. And once you have them, once you begin to work with them, they never leave. So you don't have to keep inviting all the time. They're always there.
I love that. And just aware of their presence and trusting the message that they're bringing you. Yeah. Now, you
Yes,
also
yes.
get into a whole chapter on heal the healer first. I think that's a
Yeah.
very important thing to talk about.
Yes, it is. But healers tend, see, I even feel different now. I just realized healers tend to be givers and they give and give and give and give and give and give and give. And for the most part, we tend to not even think about receiving for ourselves and for our own health. And I'm saying just all the love, receive all the love that you've given to others, receive it equally for yourself, not more. Just allow yourself to receive love and kindness and goodness in life, just equally to what you've been giving to hundreds and hundreds of other people,
Yeah. And I
or
think
even
we
one
can
other
learn from
person.
that as well. I mean, you open the book talking about your experiences through death and near death. And I think right away
Mm.
you give us that, like, okay, this is how I experienced and what I've learned. And I think it's the same way as healers. We have to also do our work to go in there. Yeah.
Oh, yes, or there's nothing left of us. And people will, people have been doing this for a long time. They'll say, I'm just worn out. I'm just exhausted. I feel drained after every session. Look for those keys because if you're doing this level of work correctly, you should be jazzed up at the end, not drained, because I'm directing a team of specialists. I'm not giving my clients or sending my clients my own energy. I'm really saying what I have found is some really, really vital information here that to keep us alive and healthy and well, and just like we're trying to get our clients to do.
Yeah, I think it's very important that we do our own work as well. And then we're better aligned and centered and more energetic to help those as well. I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You got into a concept of cutting cords. And I thought that was a very interesting thing because people all too
Sure.
often say cut cords. And recently I've been talking about detaching the energy because,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Because now here's my always my example about this. Let's say the two of us have a negative chord, and a chord is just an energetic focus. So let's say we've have a negative chord between us for whatever reasons, and a very very well what do I say, really a person who wants to help and heal and that kind of thing comes along and cuts the cord for us, thinking that that's going to heal the situation. Energy is energy. You would still have, like, it's like a garden hose. If you have a garden hose holding one end, I have garden hose holding another end, the other end, and a healer comes by and cuts the garden hose for us. You still have a chunk of it and you are holding on to it, and I have the other end of it holding on. See, it's not a healing, just chopping cords all the time. I hear this all over the world, about cutting cords, and it's not a healing because the longer a cord is there, I have found that it tends to start to create almost like tree roots, and it tends to kind of expand out and move around like a root. like a growing root, and it's very negative. Now there are positive chords as well. So not all chords are, terrible and that kind of thing. There are positive chords. When we love someone, that's a very positive chord or connection with someone. So I want for everyone to really hear that. They're not all bad. There are beautiful, positive, loving chords.
Yeah, I think that's important to recognize. And what are those chords? And like you said, like, are they beneficial or they're not beneficial? And how can we work with them? And
Yes.
knowing where that connection is. Like sometimes talking about like send people back their energy so that I'm not attached to it and they're not attached to it. See it with love and light. I think that's another way to do it. But it definitely has us to think about like how are we working with that energy and how are we releasing? So I love that you included that because like you said, they're
Yeah,
everywhere. We have chords with
everywhere,
everybody. Yeah. Just because we don't see
everywhere.
them doesn't mean they're not there, right?
No, it does not. No.
Yeah, right. Now you get into so many great chapters on how to be with a deceased person and how to receive the information and how to take it a step further, not just bring messages in, but heal some of that. Let's talk a little bit about that.
And what are you asking about healing between a live person, a so-called alive person, and a deceased person? Do you mean, is
Really,
that
all
what you
of it,
mean?
yes. Healing, sitting with
Okay.
somebody that's passing, helping someone to pass, receiving messages. So there's many
Oh,
possibilities when we work with deceased, right?
oh, very, very, very much. Um, yeah, I don't even know where to begin with that question, but I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I
So give
think
me a
we
moment.
began with the idea of don't be afraid,
Okay.
first and
Oh,
foremost,
always, always, always,
right?
always.
Yes.
So when I've had the very precious, and I feel it's really precious, moments and times where people have asked me to come and be with them as they are about to pass. I've had family members ask me to come and be with, with their a loved one who's about to pass. And what I hope to help the one who's about to pass is to realize that they're only releasing a physical body, that death is really only the release of physical body, but we never die. We are an eternal being who hopefully is advancing, trying to advance anyway. And so I really work with people to realize their aliveness, their eternalness is what is about to be freed, to move on into other directions. That's really, really important. And especially their loved ones, that to realize we really never die. We release a body, but there is, in my humble opinion, uh, not there's no death. There's the release. I call it more of a release of physical body. It's not supposed to last forever. It won't.
I agree. And I think that there's so much we can continue to learn. We have to
Mhm.
grieve. Like I know, like here I
Oh,
am. Oh, I
oh
got
yes.
it. I'm living with my mom.
Oh
I'm
yes.
helping her, talking to her at night, and then she goes, and it's like, whoa, the shock of being human comes in, and that humanness that no, she isn't here. But then, as we continue to work with it, and as you talk about in your book, like we can create these beautiful relationships, and whatever wasn't healed, we can continue to work with that. And I think that's a beautiful point of the book coming forward as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because living people think, oh, the last thing I said to my parent, we were in a big fight, and then my parent died, and they are carrying this burden. The living person carries this burden, forever. And that it's not the ending. And so I hope to teach mediums that we are the helper to realize the dead person is not dead, they're very alive. The living person is there, and to assist them to bring a healing, an understanding. And so the deceased says this, and I tell the living, and I say the living to the living person, okay, now what do you want or need to say to your family member or your dearest friend or whatever? And so it is not too late to heal a relationship, even if one of those people passed on. It is never too late because they're not dead. They're without a physical body at this moment.
Yeah, I
They are
agree.
not dead. And there really is a healing. And we intuitives, the more you do this level of work, you will see, I always call it the icing on the cake. You will see all these beautiful transformations. You will see a very heavy, dense spirit person, dense, very lost all hope, hasn't crossed over into the light, as we call it. And we can heal them. We can interact with them. We can explain things to them, or we can be the translator between them and their living, person. There's just no end, and it gets very complicated. There's no end to the healing, and there's no end to life.
I agree with you so much. And it takes us even
Thank
further
you.
into how we start to work in generational energies as well. It doesn't just stop with our immediate family, but it starts to go through that whole line of energy for us. And we can continue. I know I've done my own personal work through many, many generations
Oh,
to
good.
be
Good for
present to
you.
who I
Good for
am.
you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So important.
Yes.
It is. And I think that level of awareness of each person, whether you're sitting with someone in passing, or in my case right now, I mean, I was trained in the Tibetan Po. That was how I was trained. But right now, more specifically, I'm working in the Jewish rites. And so we
Mhm.
are right there 24, 48 hours after the body has passed. So we are in there doing this beautiful ritual, and there's so much energy that's still in there.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. You put it beautifully. Thank you for saying it in the way that you're describing it, because I hope that you and I talking about this together are really helping the listeners to expand their awareness about it too. So that's beautiful. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
I think it is important. I think, as I mentioned before I hit record, I was at a death cafe recently here in my city, here in Birmingham, by some of the death doulas around. And there were people troubled in there. There were the people that were still holding on to some of the pain, thinking it was over. But I think this conversation is exactly what is needed right now. We can continue. We can continue to open up and heal. And I know you know this from Reiki. When we work on ourselves, it helps all the lineage. And this is in that same line of energy. Yeah.
It does. That's wonderful. And here's my very simple example. I was with a friend who just last evening, and I hadn't seen him for a long time. And even before he arrived at my home, I kept seeing an elderly woman standing at his in spirit, standing let's see, on his left shoulder. Now this just happened last night. And she had so much to say to him, but she would, and I was seeing her before he even arrived at my house last night. And she would not answer me. And then when he arrived, she had a lot to say. And so I just asked her, why didn't you speak to me? She says, well, I don't speak English, so I didn't think you would. I What's real is this? You don't speak, she said, you don't speak English. And so I thought I better wait until, my grandson gets here and then we can sort this out. And so now look how real that is. You can't come up with this stuff. I can never make this stuff up. I'm not that imaginative. And then once he got there she was again, next right there at his left shoulder, and we sorted some things out. And that was very spontaneous. It was just just came to visit, not to get a healing between he and his grandmother.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I know in some of the mediumship groups I've been in on, I know there are people like, oh, I'm afraid I'm not going to get anything. I'm afraid. And so they stay in that
Mhm.
fear. And you even address this
Yes.
too. What happens if they don't show up? Like, right, you just said, but we can work through that and notice what does show up instead of getting in the fear of, I don't
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And I have had situations, I love the things that you're bringing up. I have had situations where the spirit person does not come forward. And so I just call out to the spirit person wherever they're located. And I've had them say, and it's almost like you hear a little whisper from, a million miles away, that they they're attending to something right now in the spirit realm. They cannot be bothered right now, and check in with them later. I mean, it's as simple as that. So sometimes they don't arrive, but usually they will give you a reason why, and you'll feel like it's coming from a whisper, like a whisper voice, millions and millions of miles away. That happens too. Let's see, there's no end. No
Yeah.
end to it.
Yeah. So many great tips, and it is a manual. I so agree. I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to just read a book, but it's a manual for you to go back and you give us lists and give us ways and give us ideas of,
Yes,
ways to look at stuff, things to ask, things not to ask, how to be really clear. And I think that's
yes,
part of it. I think as we, even if, no matter where we start, like for me, I know I started with Reiki and started opening up, but I'm still drawing upon that. But part of it is working with this energy all the time, knowing
all
that
the
I
time.
am in this energy all the time. It's not just, oh, let me go turn it on, let me go to meditate. But no, I do start my day meditating. I will. I'll start my day meditating. I'll start my day opening up to the angelic world, into my even soul work, using the Reiki skills. And then I allow myself to be surrounded in that for the day. And I think that's part of it.
That's part of it because even here as we are in a physical body, participate with the non-physical realms because we are that the liveness in us is the non-physical part. And so there's no separation. And people, the more afraid they get, the more there's like a big wall that builds up. So take down the wall and participate, and they will participate with us. It's such a learning too. It really advances people's learning about life, understanding life, to be open to listening to the non-physical beings.
I agree. To be open to listening, I think listening is important. All too often we want to push it away or not give it time to show up or be impatient, right? I know I can be that way myself, be a
Oh,
little impatient. Where's
oh,
that
that.
answer I want? Yeah. Yeah. But I think that trusting, I know for me, like right now, I'm getting ready to move out to California. I'm a new grandmother. My daughter just had a baby. And so I've been waiting to catch up. I'm so excited, right?
Congratulations.
And go out
Yeah.
there. And I don't quite know how everything is going to work out. I don't. Like, I'm going to move my business and go out there and I'm going to help her. But I'm just putting this
Yeah.
energy to be in that space of, let me go with that flow. Let Reiki guide me. Let my guides guide me. And I think that's a
Yes.
better part for me to be in rather than trying to control it every step of the way.
Oh, absolutely. And another level of that is being very, very clear with your words, not just you, but everyone. Clear with our words to our divine and sacred teams about what you want. Let's use you as an example. In you moving, tell them what it is you want to have happen. So the more we give them directives in clear words, short, I always say short to the point and clear words to them, because every word that we think, every word that we say out loud is an electrical signal out into the universe. So give them directives about what your example, give them directives about what you want to have happen in this change in your life.
I agree. So give them directives. I don't have to have all the details figured out and to control it,
Nope.
but give them those directives. And in your book, you do. You give us the words, things that are good to say, things that maybe we shouldn't say, right? And how we can be more directive in what we're doing. And I think that's really important because I think, again, it's like, oh, when are they going to show up? Or I'll just leave it up to them. Doesn't really help us in the best way either, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, they need to be, they need communication. And I go on and on in my book, I think I do, about how every word is an electrical signal. It's kind of like every color is an electrical signal. And so if you begin to think of it as the clearer the words that you use to your team, the clearer they can follow through for you. If you just put out, here's my example. If you just say, help me, well, what does that mean? And they'll say, you usually won't do anything because they didn't get a clear signal from you.
I agree. I agree. So just back to my point is like I do know the basics of where my
Yeah,
purpose is and what I want to do, but now
Tisha,
it's like
yes.
allowing some of that to open up and I'm getting messages, right? I'm hearing, oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do that. And so, yeah, it's like it is starting to happen with me not even being there. But I think that's really important. Now, you go on in the book and you talk about children, you talk about animals, you talk about places. I know you started the book, you talk about when you go to places, when you travel, you then experience a lot of these dead beings or these spiritual beings coming forward. And I think that we can
Yes.
be aware of all these things.
Oh, of all these things. And, like haunted houses, haunted buildings, is really big on TV right now because I check in to see what's going on TV with all these haunted shows, and the Ghostbusters or whatever they're calling themselves. I don't know the names of them. And they go in and they usually try to kind of agitate. In some of these shows, they try to agitate. And they don't need to do that. They just need to be very clear with their words. Come forward now and to the spirit people and be here with us. Why are you still here in this building? What happened? And then pause and take the pop of information.
Yeah.
Yes. So even land and buildings can be healed.
Yeah. I so agree. I so agree with you. And I think that we can have this ability within ourselves, which I do think is the point of your
Mm.
book. We can do this. We can train to understand it. We can start to open up and be that multidimensional person. And I think right now that's exactly where we're going. Just because, again, I know I've said just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not happening or it's not there, or even just because the news isn't talking about it. But this is where we are going in that spiritual development as humanity increases its own perception and expands its consciousness. I think we're all connected with that.
Well, and the whole universe is always expanding. So I love that you use that word. We are meant to expand. We are meant to learn. We are meant to continue on.
Yeah. So, what has been most instrumental in your life, Tina, in terms of your learning? Has it been the Reiki? Has it been the intuitive? Like, what has been most instrumental that keeps pushing you or guiding you, I should say, maybe along this path to keep teaching us?
Hmm. Ooh, that's a good question. That my what comes up is my hope and one of my primary goals is to take the fear away from releasing our body at the time of what we call death. To take the fear away of waking up in the night and I woke up one night and there was three deceased people standing there. And if they come to you, they want or need something. It's as simple as that. They want or need something. These three people said, I'm here to see the doctor. And I said, well, I'm a nurse, but I'm not a doctor. I know it's kind of funny. Um, and so I just, what are your needs? What do you think is happening? They didn't need, a lot of deceased people aren't even aware that they are deceased. So it helps them to actually realize that they've released their physical body. So I do a lot of that as well.
Yeah, those are one of the
Just,
questions you had asked. Do you know you're dead, right? Like, I think that's important. I normally wouldn't think of that, but I hear what your point is saying. Yeah, they may not know
well,
that.
I never thought of it either, but they would say, well, I'm not dead. What are you talking about? And 'cause there's still we don't lose our personality. We don't lose our level of awareness when we pass on. We take it with
That's a
us.
good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that portal is open. And I think we can learn so much and recognize that we are spiritual beings. I know people say it and maybe we don't pay attention to it and we forget with all the stress and the struggle going on in the world. But yet, if we can continue to
Mhm.
hold this light and be in this level of consciousness, we will see change. We will
We will see
be able to.
change. Yes.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Yeah. So I love everything that we're talking about. I really do. I know we could go on and on, but where can we find you? What is going on? Where are you teaching? I know you teach a lot. I'm ready to take a class for sure.
Well, my website is just my name, tinazion.com. And on there, I have my schedule of where I'm going here in 2026. And I'll be in New York. I have a couple of Zoom classes, so it won't matter where you're at. I'll be a month in New Zealand, teaching 3 courses there. And then I have on my site, I have all these courses recorded, and it's really if you purchase one of those on my site, you're truly sitting there in a class because you're hearing the students ask questions and things like that. So it's so I hope I can get it out there. I'm trying to get it out there in all kinds of ways for people, because this is the beauty of life, is to see people. Oh, okay. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm covered with goosebumps right now.
I so agree. It's so rewarding when you see people actually starting to get it and to recognize that energy. I totally agree. And I love that you talked about when you talked about in the book how you do astral travel teaching. Like you're in your dreams, you're in astral travel time, and you do talk to us about how we can learn to do that even better. But how you're out there teaching in the world. It reminds me kind of like in the telepathy tapes, which I'm sure you're familiar with, in the hill, the way they go to the hill. But it reminded me of that. I can, teach in that astral travel time of mine. I think
Yes.
that's really powerful. Yeah.
Yes, 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 it is. And it's
Yes.
very real. It's very
Yeah.
real.
It's not just your imagination. I think that's so
No,
important to recognize.
no.
I remember very early on asking Dr. Brian Weiss that. I was
Mhm.
in one of his seminars back in the
Mhm.
90s. Like, how do you know if you made it up? He's like, if it's there, it's in your realm of energy. Yeah. So I think that's
If
really
it's there, it's
important.
real. Yes.
Yeah,
Period. The end. If
definitely.
it's there, it's real. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And I will also add Reiki Rays, their summits. You're teaching a lot. You're one of their keynote teachers, so they can also find more information there as well. I love to shout them
Yes.
out because they do so much for all of us. Yeah,
Mhm, mhm.
definitely. So, Tina, it's been such a delight. And I know we've probably said it, but as we go to close the show and just come back around, I'd like to leave our listeners with one last uplifting thought. How do you feel that working with this healing ghosts, haunted places, and non human beings can help to empower the spirit right now?
Oh, it's all about our level of advancement and what we're willing and able to do. And the more you realize without fear, see, that's my goal, is take that scaredness uh, from people, because then we can shine even brighter. We'll shine brighter in our physical life here on earth. We will shine brighter in our spirit life, and there is no end. And there is really no death. There is a release. There's no death of who you are.
Yeah, take the fear out and be more in our
Yeah.
light. Yeah.
I love teaching people how to do this so that they can help. I love that expanding of it.
I love that too. And as I said, I use your manuals with my students and yes, turn them onto your work as well. I love it. I will post all that information, put the links in. And thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing. I am so grateful for this conversation today. Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much. This has been a precious time
Thank
for
you.
me. Thank you.
Thank you to your spirit. Namaste. What a truly enlightening conversation with Tina Zion. Her wisdom and insight into the spirit world, healing, and the power of our own intuition are guiding light in these transformative times. We've learned so much today about connecting with our spiritual teams, the true nature of death and dying, and the importance of healing ourselves first. As we navigate this period of cosmic significance, remember that you have the power to clear the clutter from your canvas and paint the masterpiece your soul came here to create. Be that artist of your spirit. And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, I invite you to explore the Past, Present, Future Akashic Timeline Healing Method. This program was created for this very moment to provide you with a map to clear the path for your soul's expression. You can register now to begin your journey. And if you're not sure if this program is for you, I encourage you to schedule a spiritual upgrade breakthrough call with me to gain clarity and see what is possible. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to Tina Zion for sharing her time and energy with us today. You can find more about Tina and her incredible work, including her books and courses at tinazion.com. Be sure to check out her book and leave a review to help it get out into the world. We'll have all the links in the show notes. As we close out this episode, I leave you with this thought: embrace the awakening. The universe is conspiring to help us move forward, Remove the fear, trust the process, trust your intuition, and allow the light to guide your way. It is a time of awakening, helping us to move forward. Thanks again for listening. Happy holidays. I am your host, Terri Ann Heiman, to your spirit. Namaste. Hey, Birmingham folks, come join me in the Light Labyrinth for the Winter Solstice program at the Yoga Circle on Saturday, December 20th. It's my last offering in Birmingham, so please come join me and magnify this energy for the return of light.